Good morning. It is Friday. That means it's Free Patch Friday at our gear website store. And in this video, we're going to take a quick look around our sewing area. I don't think we've ever really looked at our sewing area on video before. We're going to talk about Wolverine Weekend, the Pick Your Own Free Patch Friday, and because it's Wolverine Weekend, the extravaganza that'll be happening on Monday. And let's talk about why we're doing all this. First off, we'd like your business. We do run the gear website store. We have lots of interesting things over there, including patches that we sew here in Tucson using threads that come from over there and materials that come from over there. And we sew stuff like this. And we're doing it on this weekend. We're doing the Wolverine weekend to highlight our Wolverine patches. Now, this is our old Wolverine design. We'll talk about the new one here in a second. And we make them on this machine right here. Our friends in California are getting a much bigger, newer, basically a real production machine. And we'd like to get over to California to help them out, to mansplain, to learn how that machine works and see how that software works and to get some experience with it if possible, so that we can decide if it's time to upgrade this thing or not. So let's take a quick look around this one. As you can see, it's a consumer machine. It's not a professional machine. It holds one color at a time. This little thingy here is a big factor of that. You can put about 4 patches in here by the time you sew everything down. And the one color at a time, even though we've got quite a few colors here, these ones actually work pretty good. These little guys, though, don't. I bought a set of like 64 colors, and it turns out all threads aren't the same, and this machine only likes these big fancy spools. Now, I am running out of gray and out of black, and I have to buy those somewhere. So how cool would it be to buy those in California? So this machine, like I say, is a consumer machine, and it does what it does. It's decent. You can see it's not quite in its original configuration. Over the years, busted the monitor or the screen out of it. Had to do quite a few alterations and modifications to it for a while. I even had a separate set of LED lights running down here that eventually I took off because they weren't cutting it. But this thing has 11 million stitches on it. So that little needle there has gone up and down 11 million times. Whether or not to replace it has been a question for a while now. So it is what it is. It lets us get our stuff done. It's not super consistent, but it lets us get out stuff like our Wolverines. And this is our first Wolverine patch. This was one of the first designs I ever did on some of the first software we were using to create the kind of files that this thing needs. And that'll be one of the last ones we sewn. Not because it's dying or anything, but because finally sat down and made a new Wolverine design. So the first design, again, it was one of the first things we've done on the machine. It's one of the reasons we've been doing it for so long, is it's just kind of tradition. But with the new design, we can change out the gun to a different color. And obviously, it's got a lot more detail in it. We've got a lot more detail into the dude, everything from the chest rig, boots, and the pocket and the pants, to even facial expression when it wants to sew out nice. Like I say, after 11 million stitches, this thing isn't super consistent. But we've had a lot of fun. We've sewn out a bunch of the new ones, played around with it a little bit even. Don't know what to call this one. If you can come up with a good name for this design, let us know. Maybe you can have one. And then we debuted the new Liberty patch yesterday. These things have been coming out pretty decent out of the machine. And we're adding the taco to the store. So we have just a couple of these already in inventory, and we'll be trying to keep those available on a more consistent level. So some of these will be available on the store, and then one-offs, and when we play around with stuff like the different colors, some of that stuff will be the pick your own free patch. So give us some of your capitalism. We'll take that capitalism and say thanks. We'll get over to California. We will help, and we will learn, and we will continue to work for 2A. Thanks for watching.